What's up, family? Welcome back to a Narcissist Kid, where we are bringing light to daughters of narcissistic mothers to break the chains of toxic family cycles. And I want to bring light to my family that has suffered from narcissistic abuse in silence. And I really feel for children or anyone under the age of 18 that is still in school at this time during the pandemic, and you're having to stay home with your mom. And when school used to be your saving grace, school used to be your safe place, I'm really feeling for you at this moment. And I want to say a narcissist uses different masks to draw people to like them, respect, and even look up to them. They are definitely skilled manipulators that puts on a persona or front for people that they want to impress. Their logics on certain situations are almost always on point, which makes it even harder for people that they're trying to impress to not like them. They can unconsciously blind someone to believe their lies. Simple. And being a child, you're vulnerable to follow these typical behaviors of your mother. Of course, you're easily going to trust your mom that she's not going to hurt you or put you in harm's way or even not have your best interest at heart. A child is automatically going to assume that their mother has their best interest at heart because they carried them, they gave them life. It's an automatic assumption to daughters of a narcissist or even a son of a narcissist to believe that they are giving you the best sound advice possible until you realize that they're really not. So when things happen and you're like, well, wait, did she really just do that? And you try to push it out your mind because you don't want to believe that that is actually the truth, that they're really trying to harm you or give you bad advice to bring you down. As you get older and as you mature, you start to realize that those moments are actually reality. So you're really sitting back, looking at your mother blatantly do something or say something to you to hurt your feelings, such as, I hope you go to jail and rot at the bottom of the jail cell until you die. When you know you haven't done anything to deserve being in a jail cell or to die. And of course, you're going to want to reach out to anyone that will listen, whether it's a close family member or what have you. You're going to want to reach out to talk about the situation, especially if you're a child and you're not able to have an outlet. You're going to want to tell somebody about these weird situations that you keep experiencing with your mom. You just simply want to see the situation on both sides, which is why you maybe called your friend. Now, this friend that you're confiding in possibly knows your mother already, and she may like her. And so when you tell your friend about the situation, you guys both know that the situation was dead wrong, but your friend seems to side with your mother because she just doesn't think that your mom is capable of becoming this monster or this other person that you're describing. Or even if you had a friend that doesn't even know your mother and you tell them about the situation at hand and you're just needing someone to vent to, and hopefully they can give you some type of sound advice as to what to do in this situation. But then when you tell them the situation, they're not really understanding for the simple fact that A, they may already have a close relationship with their mother and they've never seen or heard of anything like this coming from a mother. So they have no advice, and pretty much leaving you with nothing. Have you ever tried talking to your sibling that lives in the same household as you about a situation that you and your mom went through, and you give them the situation, but then they're still reasoning that your mom is not in the wrong? Knowing what she has done or said was absolutely devastating sometimes. And so they may seem like they're a little brainwashed or programmed themselves and following behind mommy. So now what can you do when you have absolutely no one to talk to or even be able to leave your house if you're a child under the age of 18? Of course, you're not going to have many options as when you're a child because you can't legally leave your parents' care. Now, in this situation, when you start feeling stuck because you're all out of answers, there's no one listening to you, and there's just simply nowhere else to go, that can really put a toll on someone. And a toll meaning like depression, anxiety, and most likely anger. I remember the times that I spent in my room. I always used to wonder, why can't I just have a new mom, a new family? Like, God, new mommy, please, because she ain't it. Like, why do I have to suffer like this because my mom hates me? Why do I have to suffer at all? Why does she hate me? I remember I would tell my mom that I didn't like living with her and I wanted to go live with someone else. And she would always say, no one wants a child that is disobedient. So good luck. And when she would respond that way, that normalized the way she treated me. And I began to blame myself that my mother didn't love me. It really felt like she hated me. And people don't seem to get that through their heads that a mother can possibly hate you. And when a child knows that their mother is not giving them the proper attention or care or affection, they, of course, act out because they need all of that, all of the nurturing that a mother offers, a child needs. And so when a child is not getting that, a narcissistic parent will be quick to dub that child as a rebellious or problem child. So now you have your mother going around the family talking about you on the phone, saying that, or you're rebellious. So now when you go to tell them about this a situation that's happened and you try to confide in them again, then they'll bring up what your mom has just told them, that you're basically not behaving. So now they're not going to believe that you're really being abused here because your mom has twisted their thinking around to make them believe that they are in the right and you are in the wrong. So now you may feel stuck in the situation because there's no one to help you. So now you're really in this thing by yourself till God knows how long, until you leave your parents' care for school or what have you after high school graduation. So now you have to think of ways to survive being under the care of your mother until you can make those moves. And that may include disassociating yourself from your mother or the family. Just like how I used to just go to my room and be in my room all day. Maybe listening to music on blast so I didn't have to hear her voice, or even having my headphones on my ears so I couldn't hear her. That was the best thing that brought me peace, especially for the simple fact that my mom didn't care that I was playing music. And she didn't care that I was walking around the house with my headphones on my head. So when I did have to show my face around her, I didn't feel like I was walking on eggshells being around her because I had my music to calm me down. It was like music always knew how I felt at the moment, which is why I always resorted to turning on some music when I was down, when a situation happened with my mom. As I got older, when my mom knew that I was really fed up with how she was treating me, she knew that she had pushed me to the edge. She would always try to nitpick on certain things to try to get me out of character. So it may look like that I'm the crazy one because all that time I've been trying to hold my composure with her. And so now that I've finally exploded, now I'm the crazy one. And almost every time that happened, that would either trigger a fight, a physical fight, or an argument. I had gotten to the point where I had had enough with how my mother was treating me, and I had ran away. At the age of 13, I ran away from home and refused to go back. Even after she tried to get me to come back, I still refused. I didn't even bother to try to take any clothes. I just wanted to leave the house and I did not want to come back for any reason. Even if that meant getting a whole new wardrobe, I didn't care. I wasn't going back. And then when I ran away, I ran back to school that was right across the street from my house. So when I got there, the first person I called was my grandmother. My grandmother had been there and knew of situations that I was going through with her. She knew what was going on. She knew what I was dealing with. And she would always try to keep my spirits high to get through that tough time. So when I called my grandmother, I'm guessing she called my mom, which then turned around and called my father. And so my grandmother and father were on the way to Virginia to come get me at that point. My grandmother made sure she was on the first flight smoking to come see about me. And then when I left, I felt like I had accomplished my goal. I've always wanted to leave that house. But when you're a child, there's only so many things that you can do as to not being disrespectful to your parents because, you know, if you grew up how I grew up, if you try to talk back, your teeth gonna meet you on the floor. Okay. But I wasn't that type of passive child where you can just tell me something and I'd be okay with it. I'm a Leo, so if you're anything like me, you know you don't take a lot of stuff. You may take it, but then there's gonna be consequences, and that line gonna come out. Like I say, how my lion be coming out when somebody tried me. So yeah, I had a little lion when I was younger, and sometimes my mom made me show my lion when she would do things to press me. I remember when I would get so angry with my mom that I couldn't even say anything. I remember I was ready to fight. And because I couldn't express myself the way that I needed to express myself, a lot of anger festered to the point where I was ready to just explode. Because if I did not explode, it was just a lot pinned up. And I would explode by breaking something. I had to break something. That was always the thing that made me feel better. So if you can find someone that knows of your mom and knows what you're going through and can give you sound advice about how to handle the situation or how to go about handling the situation, that's only half the battle right there. And I definitely had one of those friends that really gave me sound advice when I needed her the most. And that's my godmother, my godmommy Michelle. Every time I called her about a situation with my mom, which was very often, she would always stopped what she was doing to listen to me and talk to me in a way that I could understand, that would keep me afloat, that would keep me going through those tough moments. And no one else paid attention to me the way that she did when I was a child. So I'm very appreciative of that, because if it wasn't for my godmother, if I didn't have anybody to confide in, like my godmother, and how she would give me advice on how to deal with her, I don't know where I would be right now. I think I probably would have gone crazy by now, because it's just that devastating dealing with a narcissist, let alone it being your parent or your mother. She let me know that what I was going through was not normal, nor was it okay. And I thank her for that, because I think that's what made me not follow in my mother's footsteps with her behavior. She helped me to realize that her behavior was wrong. So I really appreciate her, because of the simple fact that even my close family members I would talk to about my mom didn't want to give me any advice, for the simple fact that they felt like they were stepping in between our relationship and without knowing the real situation at hand. Now, if you're considered an adult over the age of 18, and maybe you're just now getting on your own, try to get yourself together before you know that you're going to be leaving the house. Maybe make a plan, maybe to go to college or find a job, and maybe get your own place, or even the military, whatever your preference is. But whatever that you decide to do, you have to go. Know that you have to leave. This is not a situation where you can stay. This is not a situation where you're welcome home. Even if your mom says that you're welcome at any time to come home, it is not an invitation to stay at all. Because if you stay, that means that she has control over you. She has control over every little thing that you do. And even if you stay away for a long period of time, know that time itself is not going to heal this wound, especially for the simple fact that the older that you get, again, the less that she is able to control you, which will definitely make her mad and put you in certain predicaments that you don't even need to experience. But when you don't deal with your mother, that is giving you your power back, but making her mad. And then you're walking in your peace when you're getting your power back. Make sure you're doing everything that you know how to do to heal from the traumatic experiences that you unfortunately had to experience as a child. And preferably a therapist that specializes in dealing with a narcissist. And I recently researched a narcissist survivors hotline for people that may be quarantining during the pandemic with a narcissist. And I want to give you that phone number just in case you need to use it. And I will definitely post it in the description of this video. But the phone number is 800-799-SAFE. The word SAFE. SAFE. So use that number if you need help with being in a household with a narcissist. So let's jump off this merry-go-round, family, and get our power back. Peace and love to you all.